Hello, I'm Ward. Welcome to this Q&A and my channel if you're new. I primarily make roleplay content where I speak sweet nothings into a mic for your listening enjoyment. We've grown larger than I originally anticipated when I started recording these audios, so I thought it would be interesting to have some dialogue between the community members who asked and maybe those who could also be wondering the same things. Just an overall thank you for commenting, listening, liking, lurking, and all of that. Over the, at the time of recording, nearly 2 years now of making audios. So just thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Maybe in the future we can have a part 2 if this is something y'all also want. I would love to have a part 2. Or if we reach even more milestones on this channel. These questions will not be in any particular order, and without any further delay, let's start. Animated asks, do you have a cat and how many? What recording equipment do you use? And are you using a closet to record? So I actually don't have any cats. I never owned a cat in my life. Growing up, we used to have a family dog, but she unfortunately passed. And I guess the most recent pet that I have, quote unquote, is sometimes taking care of my sister's dog whenever she or her partner is just out and about and she drops off her animal at my place. But a cat, I don't have any. In the future, I'd like to adopt a cat though. Maybe one of those Scottish fold cats, they're pretty cute. What recording equipment do I use? I use, honestly, pretty cheap stuff. In comparison to other folks that I see, I've been rocking with Fi-Fi equipment for a little bit. I have their microphones, or one of their microphones. I have their audio mixer that I use to help me record stuff. And I use Audacity to mainly record all of my audios. I don't use Reaper. I don't use any other DAWs of that nature. Audacity is free. It's just a little bit of a learning curve, and I think I'm still learning how to use that program. Are there better alternatives? Probably, but for now I'm gonna keep with Audacity because that's just what I know. And am I using a closet to record? I'm actually in a very not so audio friendly room. This is just a lot of filters and noise suppressions, and I hope that's not really heard as I'm doing this recording. I'm in a very open space, which I still just never liked. I'm in a room, per se. I'm in a room with no doors. I have a curtain that kind of separates me from other parts of the house, but there is just no door here. So I'm kind of just speaking out. Folks can hear me if they're in the area. But I try to record when there's nobody around and when it's basically quiet out. So if you can't notice that, or if you think I'm recording in a closet, good. One day I hope to have a better recording area when I either move or change locations when I'm able to. Book says, what a cute cat pic. Your audios are amazing. I'm a new subscriber. Thank you. Thank you very much. Do you have a favorite audio that you've done? I think one of my favorite audios that I've done would be my very first one that I released way back when on December 13th, 2023. And it's my favorite audio purely off of a emotional and sentimental value that I have for it. It was the first first type of video that I put out there that wasn't a YouTube short at the time. I wanted to warm up to the idea of recording and putting myself on the internet like this with the shorts to then work up towards full-length audios. And when I did, I was just so nervous. I'm very nervous, a very anxious individual IRL. I just thought of so many negative things that would happen when I uploaded. And 2 years later, essentially 2 years later, I'd say I thankfully improved on most fronts since that first audio, and I plan on only to try to improve and make even better content than I do right now. So yeah, I'd say my first one, very, very first one. Curiosity asked several questions that I'll be answering throughout different parts of this Q&A. I won't be getting to all of them, but I will be answering a majority of these questions. How did I learn about roleplay audios? I think it was a combination of discovering VTubers and being on Reddit at the time more. Allowed me to stumble upon just ASMR audios and scenarios that I think are more common nowadays. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe my perspective is just... But I've always had an interest, a fascination in voice acting. As a kid, I thought that these characters that I would see in shows or animes were real. And when I learned that there are actually people who voice these characters, or people that could sound completely different from their usual speaking voice to fit this character, I thought it's like so incredible. I thought that was fascinating that people have that type of ability. So it's really cool. I think voice acting is just very cool. And ASMR roleplay content showcases that even further, because there are some very just good people, good sounding people, good characters that people develop. It's very enjoyable to listen to. What are or were your favorite creators? For the sake of time, I'll just say two. And one of them was Teacup Audio. I know she's not so much on YouTube anymore, but when she was, I think she was one of my first creators that I listened to and really fell in love with the idea of ASMR, or ASMR roleplay, along with Wendy's Lost Boys, or Miss Wendy on YouTube. For the same reason, she's still on YouTube and she still makes stuff, but I would say those two were the main people that I discovered and really liked and wanted to try and emulate at some point. But it's creators like those two and many others that have inspired me to have more interest in voice acting and audio roleplay and audio quality. I think it's really cool that they have this ability to make such enthralling content with your voice, with your concepts, with your ideas and acting. And that's what I hope to do with my stuff. Do I want to be a professional voice actor in movies, etc.? Yes. I'm not too sure about movies, but I'd like to try to be a voice actor in the voiceover aspect. Maybe in some games or some animated shows. Maybe not so large scale like mainstream like television or streaming platforms, but yeah, a voice actor in some aspect, in a more professional sense than what I do currently. That's what I'd like to do. I think anywhere like that, anywhere that allows me to do something like that. But I'm okay with here on YouTube for now. How old am I? I am younger than 100 and older than 10. Do you have a job and or go to school, or is your channel your main focus? A bit of both. I used to be a research scientist, but now I do something else entirely. When given the chance and opportunity, I'd like to full send on this whole YouTube stuff and make these audios. What are my favorite tropes and what is my favorite color? I like comfort stuff. I think it just reflects in my content, along with the random bits of angst or unnervy type of audios. But I think comfort as a main thing. And my favorite color is maroon. Otherworldly asks, what is your zodiac sign and do you find it relatable? I know very little to nothing to a surface level information about the zodiacs. I had to look it up before recording this, and I am a Scorpio. That is November for the most part, I think. If that makes sense to you, let me know, because I know nothing, but I am a Scorpio. Otherworldly asks again, did I watch K-pop Demon Hunters and or listen to the soundtrack? I did. My sister asked me to watch it, and I knew I was going to watch it at some point, and it was enjoyable. I think it was fine, nothing too crazy, but I can understand the hype, the interest, the fascination. I think K-pop has just been one of those things that definitely grew over the years. And I was an avid K-pop consumer of not just the music, but of like groups' content years ago. But I've definitely mellowed out in my fascination and fixation over K-pop. But I thought the movie was fine, music was cool. Golden is cool, I like it. And finally, Otherworldly asks, who is your favorite League champion? Now, I like League of Legends. You can say and have any opinion that you have of League, but it's been my longest standing game that I've ever played, probably along with Minecraft. I've been playing League since Season 3, so if you want to try and carbon date me, go ahead, I guess. But my favorite League champion is probably Lulu. I am a support player, and Lulu, I remember having a very clear memory of it still, of playing my first game of ranked League of Legends back in Season 3. I just hit level 30. I don't know if that's a requirement still, but I think it is. I remember just hitting 30, doing research and being so nervous of getting into ranked and playing it. And I remember winning that game and just talking to people, like typing, because typing back then was like scary as a new player, because interacting with 4 other strangers essentially scared me. But I look back at it very fondly, and it's like, yeah, that was really fun. The game is still fun, but I mainly exist in ARAMs versus like normals or ranked. But Lulu would be my favorite champion, with Bard, Tahm Kench, and Ziggs being also up there. Some more questions from curiosity. Are there any tropes I don't like? If yes, what are they? I don't like fantasy scripts very much. I can't get into the perspective as the listener, nor as the performer of like werewolf does this, vampire does that, etc., whatnot. It's just not for me. I don't really like it too much. How many languages can I speak? I can speak only one, English, and I'm trying to learn 2 others. If you want to try and guess what those 2 are, comment them below. What is my favorite beverage? Room temperature water. Let's go. What makes me the happiest? I am not sure. I think being creative makes me the happiest. I think spending time with the people that I love and like, I am the happiest. I might not be able to express that well in an outwardly fashion, but internally in my mind, I'm just so like grateful and happy for those moments and times. As well as like being able to shower and wash myself. I love to shower. What's at the top of my bucket list? I think that would be visiting just different places of nature. Like, I know there's some nice places in Canada, nice places in the US that I've yet to visit, and just places in Europe, places in Asia. If y'all have ever been to Alaska, I recommend during the winter. It's beautiful over there, and I want to go back at some point. If I have the time and the money to do so, I'd love to go and just see them, be within nature. Jane says, congrats on that 5K. Oh, I'm a bit late, but thank you. I've only come across your channel fairly recently and been looking forward to being here for your progress. I'll be hanging around as long as you are. Thank you. That really means a lot. And you have a few questions. Am I a cat or dog person? I'm a cat person. Of course, but I don't mind dogs. Dogs are fine. Most random lore about yourself. I make a lot of just weird noises if I'm comfortable around you. And I do like voices and stuff. A song/album to describe you. Feels So Good by Chuck Mangione. A meme you love to quote, too many to count. Vocal stimming on every single one. Don't worry about it. Any musical instruments that you play/want to learn how to play. I can play the trumpet, clarinet, harmonica, and a little bit of piano. And I have some cello under my belt, but it's been many years, and I'd like to learn the bass. Are you pursuing / do you want to pursue any artistic endeavors, i.e. music, dance, drawing, poetry? Recently, I've been doodling. I've been drawing a lot more. I've been a big fan of POVs and perspectives of things, but I'm a terrible artist, but I gotta start somewhere. So I've been doing some of that, as well as trying to learn some music production. Sorry if that's not as few as the words suggest. Feel free to only pick the ones you want to answer. Have a great day. I hope you have a great day as well, Jane. Thank you. Thank you very much for the questions. And to end the Q&A, we have Curiosity asking, how did you come up with the name of your channel? And will you do more improv audios in the future? I like these questions. Back way when, in Season 3 of League of Legends, being a support player, there are these things in-game called wards that support players, everybody, but that support players mainly could use to help your team get vision around the map. I was playing a ranked game, I was Sona, and I remember setting up vision around Baron that allowed our team to ambush the other team, beat them in a fight, get the Baron, and win the game afterwards. And I remember one of my teammates typing saying like, whoever put these wards down were pretty good. And I was like, whoa, that was me. I did that. Yippee. And so I just used the name ward and different variations of that since. The what ward part just came from alliteration. I just think it sounds fun to say what ward, but just ward is fine. And the audio part is because I make audios. Yeah. As for improv audios, right now I don't think I'm very capable of doing them in the way that I think would be worth listening to. I did do one, I attempted one months ago, but it wasn't good. Let's just say that. If you want to go listen to it, go ahead. But I didn't think it was as good as a already written script. So that's why I heavily rely on other people's work, so I make sure to always credit those that have written these words down because they are none of mine. Okay, let me just get a little larger for y'all. Hello. Thank you for the questions. Thank you for all the interesting topics of thought, and just thank you for being around here. Especially if you made it all the way to the end of this video. My god, I suck at editing. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm using CapCut for God's sakes. Help me, Lord. But it's okay. We got it. Hopefully this was interesting to you. It was definitely interesting for me, looking at all these questions that y'all submitted. If you have any other questions for me in the future, hold on to them. Because I hate editing videos. Editing audios is its own type of demon that I've gotten used to, but videos, especially with how many times OBS has shat the bed on me as I was mid-editing and mid-recording. I just can't. Until I guess I solve that issue, I do not want to edit any video of any sort. But if I do get many questions for a future Q&A video, then I will slowly cook that up in the background. If there are more people that are interested in such a thing and hearing me give my opinions or poke around in my brain with their questions, I don't think I can express in words how lucky I am just to have anybody watch and even like the audios that I decide to put out. Whether you like my audios from the topics that I discuss, the voice that I have, the cat, please like the cat. I just thank you. Thank you for allowing me to have such an environment where I could express, experiment, and create things that I very much enjoy. And I hope you stick around for even more of that in the future. I will see y'all later. Take care of yourselves. Bye bye.